I hit go live and then I realized that my camera was tilted. Anyways, I fixed it, I think. Okay? We're good. So, I guess I should adjust this first, show you guys what we're working with. I haven't even posted the stream from last time yet. I have to post that still. I didn't do it because I accidentally, once again, the stream got cut into multiple pieces, so I have to put it through Handbrake, which fixes the frame rate, and then I gotta put it through an editing software to make it one video, and then I can post it on YouTube. But, yes, I'm gonna work on that tonight. Anyways, so yeah, here's today's stream. We've got this head. Boy, we do. We've seen a lot of it. Time to cut the fur. So we put the tape on it. We traced it. Not traced it. We drew all over it. We wrote exactly which direction we wanted the furs on every single piece. That's why the arrow was there. And any tick marks on the edges to help us kind of figure out where things go, puzzle piece it back together. We wrote the color, so I wrote B for black, and gray is G for gray. And that's a little bit more difficult if you have, like, blue, burgundy, what's another B? You know what I mean. I've had multiple colors that start with, like, the same letters, so I've had to actually write out more than that. Oh, black, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, anyways, at least I could get away with just B and G for black and gray this time. And you want to write, you will have written on there exactly what it is. So this is the back of the ear. And hopefully you wrote all that down, because you're going to need it. And hopefully you took pictures like I told you to, because you're going to need it. Hey, Renn, how you doing? We got this. Today is the day. We're finally breaking out the furs. I am working on a bandana for Renn, and every time Renn pops into the stream, she puts a whole ton of the little dog heads, and it's so cute. And I found a fabric. Yeah, there it is. And it's so cute. And I found a fabric that's just a ton of tiny little dog heads, and I was like, this is Renn, actually. But it's gonna be reversible. The other side has like a red rose on it, so it's gonna be really cool. Red roses, so I'm excited. Thank you for the puppers. Alright, so I guess I'll pan up just a little bit. Here's all of my patterns on my desk that is way too small. So first things first, hopefully you have everything labeled. If not, you can use your photos, and I had to do this because I forgot to write, like, what this was. Side of the cheek. Okay, that would have been great. I forgot to write that, so after I cut it off, after that stream, I had to, like, look at my pictures and go through every one and figure out which goes where, because it's really important to write down what it is so you know how to shave it. So side of the cheek, that's going to be a part that you'll definitely want to shave right here, really short. So normally, you want to, obviously, you kind of want like an idea of what you're doing. Hey Della, how you doing? Wow, everybody's like the yellow-orange names today. Apparently you can change the color of your name. I didn't know that, apparently. You guys taught me that last stream. So all of this face piece, you're going to want shaved pretty low. I like to make the ears, the inside of the ear, fluffy, and this back cheek, like this back fluffy, and the neck. But the back of the head, the top, this whole face, you want that all shaved. So it's important to know what pieces are what, so when you trace it, you know whether to shave it or not. Oh, you didn't know that either? Yeah, right? Like last time, everybody was changing their color, I guess. I was kind of, you know, not focused completely on that, but if you can change it, it'd be pretty cool. I'm doing okay. Today is a good day. How about you? I think you guys are on break right now. Also, I'm sharing this chair with just a ton of gray fur. In case you wondered why I was sitting strangely, it's just here. I know my brother's on break for sure, because he's been playing Overwatch and I want to play. I'm like, I really want to play. Oh, spring break. Thank God. Finally you get to like sit down and take a nap, you know? It's nice just to be able to get some rest and finally catch up with friends and stuff. Alright, so thankfully we've got, I can't believe I forgot to show you guys. We've got a really a cute yet simplistic design. It's not over the top, but it is very, very cute. And what we're going to do is, I'm gonna pull it up so you can see it. Come on, Trello, load for me now. So I'm gonna show you guys the design. Okay. Oh man, you know what? I've decided against this. I'm gonna pull it up on my phone so you guys can see it better. I was gonna pull it up on the computer, but Alright, come on. So here's my Trello. Renn. See, I feel like I should show you guys what we're actually doing with the colors. You know, if it'll focus. Come on, camera. There we go, okay. Very, very cute character. So she's a gray wolf. Has mostly black fur. The face has got some gray in there. Come on. Yeah, I'm blaming technology right now. It's not even the technology, it's just me. She's got a red nose, some red eyes, and red paw pads. But yeah, I've shown off this art before. It's very, very cute. All owned by Renn, so do not steal. So yeah, that's what we're doing. The gray in the ears, and the gray on the face, and then the black everywhere else. That's the plan. I know, she's so cute! I cannot wait to hug her. Like, it's gonna be real. It's gonna be real. I can hug it. She's super cute. See, like, that just proves you don't have to have, like, an overly designed character to have something that's super cute. So yeah, now that we've got our pieces here, the next thing is to sort them. So first, I'm gonna sort them by color. I'm gonna put the black in one pile and the gray in another pile. I think I mostly sorted this. Black here. Okay. Yeah. Mostly sorted before the stream. I tried to sort it and then I realized I kind of mixed it in on accident. I make things hard for myself for no reason. Okay. And so we've got the black pile and the gray pile. Now I can just start. Easy. I'm not going to do most of I think I'm going to do the grays on stream and the blacks off stream because it's so hard to see. But I am going to do the eyebrows on stream. So here's the eyebrow piece, and I'm going to do one like this, and then I'm going to flip it over and do the other side so you have both sides. And the reason I wanted to do this one on stream is because I wanted to say, especially for small things like little spots or eyebrows, tiny little pieces, use your scraps. Like, I'm sure you've got scraps of fur. Now is the time to use it on these little things. Another design you can't get over is Micah's. I know! I love Micah's design. It's so cute. And it was really cute, like, since she's added the bodysuit, like, she didn't really have a design for the body. I mean, she did, but it was just kind of, it existed. It was good. It was cute. But then she redesigned it, and it was even cuter, and I was just like, ah. Alright, so, yee! I love that cute little emoji, Renn. Okay, so for the black fur, a few things you could do here. You could, I'm gonna bring the camera a little closer, actually. You could just put it on top, and frankly, that's my favorite method, is just put it on top, hold it down, and carefully cut around it. Or, if you wanted to, you could get like a silver Sharpie, because silver shows up on the black. It's really hard to find any marking utensils that'll show up on black to trace around it, but frankly, then I would have to worry about the Sharpie bleeding, or I would have to have a pattern that was bigger than this. Like, I'd have to trace this on a paper. Why don't I just do it? I will just do it. So you guys can see what I'm talking about. Let's say I wanted to use silver Sharpie to trace onto the black fur here. So, first I would take this pattern and trace it. this is the pattern that I need. It also has to have a seam allowance about this big, all the way around. I'd say quarter inch, maybe-ish. I usually just eyeball it. It's not really that important. Wow, everybody's got that yellowy orange font now. Hey, Avengers, how you doing? We are tracing the patterns onto the fur so that we can cut the fur. But first, we must trace it. Alright. So this is what we have. We have the pattern here, and when we cut it out, we need to leave this much seam allowance all the way around. So, first of all, let me just... Like, this is just an example. I'm not even actually gonna do... I guess I could do it this way. I mean, it'll end up the same, right? So, I'm trying to show off two different ways you could do patterns on black. Because black is not easy. Especially if you have a more complicated, like, something like this. That will be hard to just kind of lay flat and hold still while you're cutting it out. This one would be easy to just put down, hold it still, and cut it out, but, yeah. So, one thing you could do, you can put the pattern down, and, frankly, I'd just rather do it this way. I think it's easier. And just really carefully cut around. All the way around. That'll get you your piece. And you still have to leave the seam allowance, so leave a little bit at the top, and all the way around. Or... if you really wanted to use the Sharpie, you'd have to make a pattern like this, which is slightly larger, so that when you trace it with the Sharpie, let's say you traced it all the way, oh, my Sharpie is kind of, my Sharpie is on its way out. Alright, so let's pretend I traced this pattern with the Sharpie. Now, I can cut it out from in here. Cut out through inside here. So that I cut off the Sharpie, because I don't want the Sharpie to be part of the fur here. The piece that we need, we don't want the Sharpie on. So this would be the front of the eyebrow then, and this piece would be just excess cut off. So it does waste a little bit to use the Sharpie method, but if you really prefer to just put the pattern on your fur and trace it, you can. You're just going to have to make a version of that pattern with the seam allowance, so that when you cut it out, it doesn't shrink. Because if I just took this piece, put it on there, and traced it, by the time I cut it out, it would be a whole size smaller. I hope that makes sense. And I hope, I mean, it kind of was over-explaining, but it's just really important to not leave Sharpie on your things. So I'm not going to do it this way. I don't need this piece anymore. I'm just going to throw it out. I was just going to show you guys. Oh, you changed it! How do you change your colors like that? Yeah. I do like the purple. Purple is a fun royal color. I love being able to work on Ace because I've always wanted to work on a purple costume and it's just never come up. But Ace is purple, like tons of shades of purple, and it makes me very happy. Alright, so my preferred way. Where's that? Okay. See, I have another light here, but I'm concerned that if I turn it on, it's going to completely blow out the camera. That's what it's done every other time. Alright. Here's hoping you guys can see what I'm doing. The struggle. Yes, he is. We just keep calling him Bird, but he's actually a griffin. He's hiding in the back there, but don't make me turn the camera. I just got it adjusted. Yeah, I mean, I can if you really want to see again, but, I need to do a stream with him. I've been doing a lot of streams of Renn, but none of Ace. Okay, so again, when I'm cutting it out, I have to leave that, like, 1/4 inch all the way around extra for the seam allowance. So if you have trouble trying to keep the pattern still, or, I don't know, just maybe it's just not easy for you, you can definitely use the Sharpie method. Just make sure you make the pattern big enough first, so it doesn't shrink after you cut it out. Bird. In the bottom right corner of the chat, there are 3 dots, and in that menu, you can change your profile color. What? I've been using Twitch for a while, and I've never known about that. Alright. So here's one eyebrow. Wow! A whole eyebrow. So hopefully you can kind of get the idea of how long, just how long this takes. So I've got some scraps. I like to try to keep the scraps clean, like throw them away as I go, but fur gets everywhere anyways, so. Okay, so here's one eyebrow. Very fluffy. We need to shave it. It's not going to be this long. I mean, I guess if you were making like an elder character and they had long eyebrows, it'd be really cute, but that's not what we're going for today. Oh, you call yourself Ace in some video games. That's interesting. That's funny. I could see how that would be confusing. Alright, this piece is too small for this eyebrow, but whenever I have like little extra pieces, if they're big enough to make like a spot, I will keep them because I might use it for spots one day. So I'll just throw it in the pile for later. Trying to see if I can fit this other eyebrow. Okay, so we did one side of the eyebrow. Now we need to flip it over so we have the other side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it up to my light so I can see through it. And I'm going to trace that arrow. Where is it? There it is. Okay, yeah. So hold it up to the light like this, and then you'll be able to see the arrow. And just trace it. So then you can do the pattern on this side, too. Giving Renn a unibrow, eh? Yeah, she'll show up at your door, and you'll be like, oh boy, you'll go to unbox her, and she'll just have one thick brow. Oh boy. I'm not even sure how you would complain about that. Like, great character, thank you. Why did you give her a unibrow? Renn must have unibrow. 0 out of 10 if she does not come with unibrow. Alright, and when you're lining up your pattern, there's like a grain here. You can kind of see the direction. So I try to line up the arrow with that. So you can figure out which way to tilt it. Hopefully that makes sense. I know it's not easy to see on the black, but I'm only doing the eyebrows with the black. We'll do the silver after this. Okay. So when I'm placing it, I'm making sure that there's enough space so that it has that 1/4 inch all the way around. Very, very, very important. I love my little snipping scissors, too. I could use the big guys, the big scissors, but, like, these little ones are so nice. It's just a lot easier to do the little tiny turns and details just to cut out these patterns. I was hoping to have some of this done, like, some of it cut out already, some of it shaved, but frankly, I haven't had the time, so hopefully, before the next stream, which will be tomorrow, hopefully, I'll have most of this at least cut out and some of it shaved. Hopefully. Because this is definitely one part that I don't want to do the entire thing live on stream, because this is going to get very monotonous. Like, I can watch several movies just cutting this stuff out, and it will not be fun. I mean, we can chat, but, you know, it gets pretty boring. If you're just looking at the same thing for, like, 5 hours. You made the mistake of watching your old toxic friends stream today. Ooh, that's cursed. Did they say bad things, or are they just kind of misbehaving? Alright, so here's both of our eyebrows. So let us see how they look. Completely unnecessary to do this, but I like to just... Oh, okay, come on, camera. Ugh. I like to hold them up and just look at it because I think it's fun. Cute. Those are fluffy. Like, okay, that would make a great elder, I'll say. Yeah. Cute. So, I'm gonna need to shave these down now, so I'm going to do a tiny little shaving thing. And don't worry, I'll do it multiple times during this stream, so if you can't really see the black that well, once we hit the gray, it'll be a little bit better. Someone should make a compilation of me fighting with the camera, right? I'm always like, nah, nah, nah. Like, literally 5 times every stream. It just... it always gets me. Alright. So now, anytime I do shaving, I always break out the big scissors. I never use the little ones, because you get a much better, well, at least I do, get a much cleaner shave with the long scissors. So first things first, I'll start with the back. I'll put it flat down. It'll just be a 3-hour compilation of her shaking us, right? Just the camera is just everywhere. I'm always worried I'm gonna make you guys motion sick because of that. I get like really easily motion sick from things, so I always get worried. Just moving it around, I'll get you guys sick. Alright, so first I like to brush it. Nice and smooth. I'll put it face down. And I kind of have this on the edge here. I've got my trash can. I've got this. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll kind of go around the edges first. And this is how long I want to make the rest of the fur. Not exactly sure how long this is. Maybe like ½ an inch. Maybe a hair shorter. Nah, I'd say it's about ½ an inch. So from the back, you can see that's how short I've cut it. Now obviously when you flip it over, it's gonna look silly because I've only cut the very tips here, but I haven't cut the rest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to brush all this back up so it's kind of standing upright. Whoops, I almost threw the other eyebrow away. And then I'm just gonna hold my scissors as flat as possible and just kind of start shaving it down a little bit. And that's how I do it, really. You can get fantastic results with the scissors. And Renn is gonna help me learn how to use the shaver. And hopefully I'll be able to show you guys some of that experimentation on stream. But for now, at least today, I'm doing scissors. And I think scissors works very well for me. I know how to use them. I've practiced a lot with it. And it's definitely at first, you're gonna get some really uneven hair. I would definitely practice on some pieces that are trash first if you're new to this. Or maybe wait to use the shaver. I'm not sure which way will be easier in the end. Because I need to practice with the shaver first before I can give you an answer which one is easier. But definitely, it's not easy to do shaving. And it will get everywhere. So I just kind of keep brushing it back and just keep trying to flatten it out. And I keep knocking off any extra fibers into the trash can below here. ASMR furry girl violently attacking camera. Yeah, just grabbing the camera and just whipping it around. I did not. It's literally the only open tab. Avengers, your video is the only open tab on Google right now because I didn't have time to watch it before the stream. And I don't like watching videos halfway and then coming back, so I was gonna watch it after when I was still shaving all of this stuff. Everybody, Avengers just released a new video. You should check it out. Avengers, if you want, you can post the link to it. I mean, I don't know how many people are actually in the chat, but... This is really funny to me. I'm wondering how hard Renn is cringing right now. Like, you're gonna have to show... I'm very, very curious how professionals actually shave fur. Because this is just a self-taught crafter. This is how I have done it. And I'm really, really curious how you do it. I'm technically holding my scissors wrong. Renn is just over there face palming, I'm sure. This is going well. It's actually kind of harder to hold on to such a tiny piece. Usually the pieces are a little bit larger. Like, any of these other pieces are larger than this eyebrow. Okay, so shake off all that dust into the trash. Otherwise, it will end up in your mouth. It'll end up in your mouth anyways, but, you know, trying to keep as much dust out of the air as possible. Alright. So let's hold this eyebrow up. There we go. So it still looks kind of unruly because everything else does not have fur. Still looks a bit thick, but really, this is a really good length for this. Just nice and short fur. Very cute. So yeah, we got our eyebrow. And I will cut the other one after. So that you guys don't have to suffer it. Oh, you know what? Avengers, I totally missed you said something else. Oh, okay. See, I missed what you said before. I knew you said something, but I couldn't remember what it was. I couldn't remember to check what it was. You were talking about your friend's stream. I'm sorry, I tend to miss stuff. Yeah, you could chat with me later about that too if you want. Hopefully it wasn't too toxic, but you know. Alright, yeah, if you gotta get going, I'll see you when we both have the chance, I guess. It will end up in your mouth, nose, and eyeballs like real dog grooming. Oh, I always wondered that, if it does for you guys too. I guess for all of us, we all suffer. Alright, so here's the shaved one versus the unshaved one. It's about what you'd expect. Wow, one is short. Who'd have thought? Okay. So yeah, that's what you want to do. You figure out what pieces need shaving and you shave them as you cut them. Like you cut out the pieces you need, and then if a part needs shaving, you shave it. And once all your pieces are ready, then we put them together and sew them. So, let's move on to some gray because, frankly, the black is just too dark. Okay, here's a fun one. The inside of the ear is gray, and this one you don't have to shave. These are my favorite pieces because you don't have to shave them. They look best long. Alright. Yes, we do, Avengers. I know. I was just thinking about that. When I could try to... I was thinking... Well, I guess we need to talk schedules. I was thinking Wednesdays, but I don't know if you're free Wednesdays, so we'll have to see. Why is my hair doing this? I need a haircut. I need someone to fix my hair. It's just falling apart. Okay, so I've got this whole yard of fur. I think it's 1 yard, yeah. Anyways, obviously the fur has a direction. It's going whatever direction you need it to go. I like to usually just put it facing up, but that's just me. So I'll put it face down like this. And usually, when you have a yard of fabric, it's like a rectangle. Because when you fold it, it comes folded in half. Like a yard of fabric is... Okay, let's start over. A yard is 3 feet. That is 3 feet long. And when it comes to fur and different fabrics, it comes in different widths. So sometimes you'll get fabric and it'll unfold to like 54 inches, but sometimes it'll only unfold to like 42 or something. I don't know, different lengths. So usually if you get a yard of fur, it'll be 3 feet wide by roughly 6. It usually comes in it's like a square, and you unfold it, it's a rectangle. And that's not true for every single fabric of fur, but roughly, usually they come in that rectangle. So if I folded this in half, now I'm too close to the camera and I can't back up. I love how I'm wearing like a normal shirt, but then pajama pants. Story of my life. I just don't own any pajama shirts, really. I just own a ton of pajama pants. Alright, so this is 1 yard of, 1 yard of faux fur fabric. Just kind of a square. But it's folded in half. When I open it, it's a big rectangle. So usually I'll choose one corner, either the bottom left or bottom right, and that's the side I'll start working off of. I'll start taking pieces, making pieces down here. Do not start at the top. So when you start cutting out patterns like this, do not start at the top up here where the fur is going down. Because later on, when you go to fold it like this to put it away, you're not going to have anything to grab onto because you already cut it off. So when you start cutting the patterns out, start at the bottom here. You will do yourself a huge favor. It will help you so much. Okay. So I did already cut out a few things out of this fur before, so you can see this is where there's some fur missing. So that's the corner we're going to start on. Me fighting with the camera again. That's just how I live, man. What can I say? Alright, and since this is a piece that I need to do both sides on, I'm definitely going to have to put the arrow on both sides of this pattern again. So this one's completely unmarked on this side, and this side is marked. So again, hold it up to the light, and then you can trace that arrow through it. Okay? Ta-da! Now we have an arrow. So I'm going to need to trace one on this side and flip it over, trace one on the other. Maybe I can even get a better camera view. So I was thinking about playing Shadow the Hedgehog because a long time ago, I actually tried to speedrun that game. And I got kind of good at it. But, you know, things take time and that took too much of it. But it's still a game that is awful and wonderful. I think the animations are really good, actually, in that game. And I think it's such a good game to meme on. It's just, I have a special place in my heart for that game, especially the GameCube version. So, I would like to play that. So, I'm not sure if I will be doing Fursuit stuff tomorrow's, sorry, through my brush, for tomorrow's stream or gaming. And I think that's going to solely depend on how much fur I get done tonight, because I don't want another whole stream of just me shaving. So, we're gonna see. Alright, so now we've got this dark gray color. This is Arctic fox fur, by the way. So is that black. They were both luxury fox fur. Sometimes called Arctic fox, sometimes luxury fox. I believe these were both from Big Z Fabric, Arctic fox. And the thing about these is they are very nice, high-quality furs, and they only cost a few bucks more, and they shave really well. It's worth it to me. If you can use these furs in your costume, definitely do. The Arctic fox furs. The only downside is they don't come with as many colors. It's just kind of black, white, gray, ivory. That's it. Although you can snag some rare colors once in a while from different places. Alright, so here again, we repeat our problem from before. How are we going to trace this? Well, we could do my favorite method where I just kind of place it on there gently and, okay, me fighting with the camera again. Let's go. Wouldn't be a CloverCat stream if I wasn't just completely suffering trying to get this camera right. Okay. There we go. So. Oh, something happened! Okay, Candy Pants MD is following. Thank you so much for following. We're just working on a fursuit. I'm just kind of ranting. It's a slow day. I think it's because it's a weekday. Usually there's at least a few more people in chat, but that's okay. I've got plenty to say on my own, trust me. I hope you are having a wonderful day. So I'm just going to do this first one my preferred way, which is harder and or easier. It depends on your style. You gotta choose for yourself which you like better. Do you want to hold this pattern down without it slipping and just kind of gently cut around it? Or would you rather trace the pattern and then cut it out from there? It's completely your choice. So I'm going to do one of each. So right now I'm just holding down the pattern. And when you do that, you need to hold it flat. You can't like push really hard on one spot because see how it'll buckle? That'll make your pattern cut out wrong. So you gotta keep it without sliding and you gotta kind of do like an even pressure all the way around. So it's not easy, but you don't have to deal with like marking utensils. I don't know why I hate marking utensils, but I really do. So especially these tiny little curves like in here, it's really nice to have these cute little baby scissors. They're just, I think these are Fiskars. Yeah, they're Fiskars. Just little baby scissors. Detailing scissors, I think is what people call them. And I'm just doing little tiny snips here. If you do bigger snips like this, like the full blade, you will cut the fibers, which is really bad, especially if you're trying to keep the fur long. You're not going to shave it. You want to not destroy the fur, thank you. Okay, so here's this piece. That is the inside of one of our ears. So, let's bring it over and see how it looks. Oh. Alright. Sorry the camera's a bit close. We're just gonna have to deal with it. That's the best I got right now. So it looks like this is a Renn's left ear. So this one goes in here. Wow, look at that fuzz. That is fun. It's very dark, isn't it? Sorry about that. It's much lighter for me. It's darker for you guys to see. But yeah, that's a lot of fluff. It will stick in there better and look a bit better once we get the other fur around it. Because with it being on its own there, it looks a bit excessive. But once all the furs are together, it'll look more standard. Okay. I dropped my scissors. Hang on. Ugh. Okay, got it. So, now let's do the other side. We'll flip it over so we can get the other ear done. Because this one we just did. Flip it over, we'll do the other. You know, I just need like a top-down camera. And I've looked into it. It's just really hard for me to get what I need. Like, I can't find, it doesn't really exist. I just want like something that has a really long arm that can hold a camera that shoots straight down so you can see what I'm doing here. And I don't have to keep moving this camera. I just need like 10 cameras though, actually. Because when I'm on the sewing machine over here, I have to keep moving it. And if I just had like 80 cameras or something and just like a pad where I could switch the numbers, that would be pretty easy. Okay, so this one, we just placed it down, held it, cut it out with the seam allowance. See how I didn't cut exactly all the way around the edge? I left the seam allowance like about a 1/4 inch all the way around. So, we could do that here too with the pencil. So instead of just cutting it, holding it and cutting it, I'm going to grab one of my marking pencils here. Marking pencil. And honestly, any kind of colored pencil will work here as long as it shows up, because colored pencil can wash out. It's not like a Sharpie where, or any marker really, where it's kind of concerning that it might bleed and wreck the costume. Okay, again, this isn't the best example. I'm sorry about that. I'm tracing black onto a dark gray pattern. Like, that is not a good example to be showing you guys, because on camera it's not going to show up well. So I'm going to trace this, and then hopefully you guys can see it. I can barely see it, so that's not a good sign. Mid-gray is tough. Like this middle gray, do I use black or do I use white? Which one do I think will show up better? See, this is why I prefer to just cut it out from the get-go, because now I have to trace. I hate tracing it. Like, especially on darker colors, like, certain colors are hard to trace and see. Okay. So you can barely see it in the camera, but it is there. So, now that it's traced out, I'm going to do the same exact thing. I'm just going to cut it out all the way around, leaving the seam allowance. Meaning leaving a 1/4 inch all the way around. I don't want to cut that off because I need it to sew it. So yeah, same deal. Now the third way, which I definitely kind of over-explained earlier. Sorry about that. If you want to use a Sharpie, and a Sharpie will show up very, very brightly. Did I just trace this same pattern twice? I did. Ah! This is fine. Everything is fine. Alright, so I traced it on this side. I forgot to flip it. I needed to do it on this side. Now I have 2 left ears. What am I supposed to do with 2 left ears? Alright. Cool. I guess we'll go over the Sharpie method then. Alright, we'll do one more Sharpie method. I mean, I did do it earlier, but I'll do it again for good measure. Pain! Right, Della? Oh, man. I'm so glad you were able to suffer that with me. I'm sad. I'm sad right now. That was so dumb. And, like, I could say, oh, well, I was streaming. I was distracted. No, I do that literally every time. I will cut out at least 3 wrong pieces for every fursuit. It's just a given. It's depressing. Well, there it is. I'm choking on fur already. Alright, so if you want to use the Sharpie, it will show up much, much, much brighter, and it'll be a lot easier to cut out. However, Sharpie tends to bleed a bit. Let me check something real quick. Figby, get over here. Okay. Did I not? I thought I did. Okay, maybe that was only bodysuit. Anyways, Figby says hi. Okay, you sit. Don't fall. Basically, when I was working on Figby's bodysuit, the boy! I know, he should be in the background. You can't even see him. You just see all this foam. I should turn the camera more. But I'm not gonna, because that would involve me moving this camera, and I'm not doing that. This camera is a naughty boy. It makes me fight. Okay, so what we can do here... It's for left-eared personas, right? I wish I could just reuse that piece, too, but no, it's completely useless to me. Now I just have an extra cutout piece that hopefully I can use on, like, something small, like a spot or something in the future, maybe. Alright, so here's the ear. And if I trace it with Sharpie, I don't want to leave Sharpie on the fur. If I leave Sharpie on the fur, and it gets washed, it may bleed and may destroy the suit. So I don't want to do that. So if I use Sharpie on fur, I want to cut it off. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to trace this pattern, leave an extra seam allowance all the way around. That's why I drew an extra line all the way around for the seam allowance. And then this is your new pattern. So I'm going to cut it out. Then when we trace this on the fur, we can cut out the silver. Well, I was thinking silver Sharpie, but my silver Sharpie's not doing so hot. So maybe I should use black. I need to get some more Sharpies, I think. Most of mine are dried up. I've had them for years. Okay. See, the difference is normally I will put this on the fur, and when I'm cutting it, I leave an extra space around. So, like, I don't cut it directly on there. I leave a little space, and I cut around. This way is kind of the reverse. We put the seam allowance on now, instead of after. So, if I could get this fur to lay flat, that would be great. Also, it's really warming me up, because it's on my lap here. Getting kind of toasty. Alright, make sure I don't do another left ear, I swear. Okay, I did it facing this way, so I need one this way. Alright, so I want to make sure that... See, I didn't draw the arrow on it. I should probably draw the arrow. Wow, this just gave me flashbacks to animation. Like, this is like when you're flipping the papers... You do slight differences on each paper, and that's how animation works. At least, that's how it used to. on the pages. I'll have to do an animation stream or something. I miss doing animation, and there's so much to tell. It's so fun. I have a whole stash of 2D paper, like 2D animation supplies, like pegboards and tons of these pencils and paper, and I even have like cells, so we can do make cells like the ones that are on my wall. All my animation cells. I have supplies to make my own. Maybe we'll do that one day. Okay. Lined up? Good. Do I use the silver or the black? I guess I'll use the black. Okay. Come on. Oh, I completely missed that's what you said. You're a righty. Aw. You know, I've met so many left-handed people. Like, it's actually kind of surprising, because I thought left-handed thing was, like, kind of more rare, but honestly, there's so many left-handed people now, it's like, I wonder what the percentage is of left versus right. Because even though I'm a lefty, growing up in this right-handed world, for some reason, I mean, I'm kind of, all left-handed people are very ambidextrous. Probably right-handed too, but I can't say speaking from experience on that. I'm sure everybody has some level of ambidextrousness, but, especially left-handed people, I think they get lots of practice on both. Unfortunately. Okay, so I traced this with a Sharpie, so I'm going to cut it just inside. Just inside that. Just gonna cut off the Sharpie. So the only thing about doing it this way is, it is an extra step, because you have to make the pattern, like trace the pattern, and then give it a seam allowance, cut it out, and that's kind of a pain. And the other thing is, after you're done cutting off this piece, then you still have this extra down here is still covered in Sharpie, so you want to make sure you don't accidentally use this Sharpied piece on a future project, because that would not be good. So, I mean, you could cut it off, or just be aware that sometimes to check before you use certain pieces, make sure there's no Sharpie all over it. But yeah, I personally, unless it's a very complicated pattern, most of the time I'll put it down, hold it very carefully, and then just cut it out around it. But if it's something really complicated, like, I had something here that was kind of really difficult. This one I'm probably gonna trace. The rest of them, I think I'll just place it and hold it and just do a good job cutting it out. Man, I'm choking on fur right now. I didn't even shave anything, barely. Just cutting it out, really. I mean, I did shave a little, but... You think you've met 2 people in your whole life that are left-handed? Really? Wow. It was funny, because in my karate dojo, like, 5 different instructors were all left-handed. It was, like, more left-handed than right-handed instructors, and I just thought that was kind of funny. Okay. So now if you'd like, you can, like, sandwich them together and just see if they, like, match up proper, or put the pattern on... Where'd the pattern go? Put the pattern on top and make sure it looks good. Like, make sure that the seam allowance looks big enough all the way around. I would definitely check that. Make sure that the pattern is correct. And then once it's good, you're good. You can label these if you need to, but frankly, usually once I'm done with the piece, I will stack them together with the labeled piece and put them aside. And then I'll do all the pieces. Otherwise, you would have to label each one of these pieces with some kind of marker or something. And frankly, if you just keep it with the piece, like the pattern piece, you know what it is. So I will put it together and I'll put it aside. You can write with both hands. Your left just sucks. Right? I cannot write with my right hand. I've tried. It's really funny. But I can do scissors really good. And I can use X-Acto blades on both hands. But I can't write right. It's so weird. Your sister's a lefty. Challenge her to a non-dominant hand battle and see who can do the best writing. Okay, so these turned out great. I checked to make sure the seam allowance looks good all the way around, and it looks good. So I'm going to put them together, and I'm just going to put them aside over here. And I'm going to do that for all my pieces. You have all of them are already written on what they are, what color they're supposed to be, what direction the fur. The only thing you need to do, other than, you know, trace and cut out the pieces, is know which ones are long and which ones need to be shaved. So you can shave them as you go, or you can shave them after. It's completely up to you. A lot of the time, I'll purposely do the neck pieces first, because that does not get shaved, because it's easier and I hate shaving. So I'll usually trace out the neck pieces first, and then I will do the shaved pieces. And I'll just kind of have like maybe 20 little piles of each thing here. Like here's the pile for the ear we just did. Here's the pile of the eyebrows with this piece. Put those together. And then afterward you can look through and shave them. Really, the order of operations is up to you, but the end goal is to have all your pieces ready in piles like this, shaved, and ready to go for when we're ready to stitch it together. So, that's what I'm gonna do next stream. So, tonight, hopefully, I will have all this cut out and shaved properly. It's gonna take a long time. There's a lot of pieces here. And next stream, we will be hopefully starting to pin them and stitch them together. And if not, then we'll be playing a Sonic game, or probably Shadow the Hedgehog, because I love that game. It's so bad. And then the next working stream, that's what we'll do. But I will cut out a few more with you here. I know it was kind of it's too short of a stream to end now. We've only been live like 52 minutes, so I'll go a little bit longer. But yeah, this part is, I've explained everything I need to explain. It's kind of, that's it. And when you check, make sure, especially if you used Sharpie, when you check the shape here, make sure that all that Sharpie is gone. I mean, if you do leave some Sharpie on there, it probably will be fine. Because when I was making Figby's bodysuit, it was the first bodysuit I made, and I used black Sharpie on it, and he has lime green fur, and it didn't really bleed through, but it could have. And since it was all long, unshaved fur, it didn't show through. But if it was shaved, or if it was white, or something cream, really light, banana colored, it could have been seen, and it could have wrecked it. I don't know. Eyelids! That's what I said I was gonna do last time! Oh, man. We need more stream. Oh, man. Okay. So, should I sew the things together? I kind of want to sew the things together first and then get the eyelids going, but I know I do need to do the eyelids. Yeah. I think the eyelids will be the... I keep saying I'll do the eyelids. I think the eyelids will be the next stream after that, actually. No? I should really do that before I sew these together. Oh, it's so difficult. So, yeah, the eyelids. I can talk about the eyelids while I'm cutting this out, at least. We can get a primer. I'll show you guys later, because I don't have everything out for the eyelids, but I will definitely talk about it. Where did my trash can go? Okay. Alright, so I'm just gonna start cutting out some of these longer furs that I don't have to shave right now, because I hate shaving. Neck. Oh, they're all black. Alright, never mind. I'm just gonna start cutting out the more complicated pieces, I guess. That's fine. I'll just shave them after. And even though I just said I would probably trace these more complicated patterns, I really don't want to. So, I'm just gonna do the best I can, and it will turn out fine, because for once, I'm confident that I can do something, and this is gonna end out fine. But yeah. If you have trouble cutting perfectly straight, well, you know, maybe the patterning it, writing it with like a Sharpie or something might be easier for you. Personally, I'm just gonna cut it. I'm just gonna be real careful and cut it proper. speaking of Figby, you're curious. How long has he been your Sona? See, that's a good question. So, this is another back when I was in college story. Unfortunately. So, yeah, when I was in college for animation, we had to make a short film, like a really, really short film, only 30 seconds. Of course, everybody's ended up being longer than 30 seconds, but it had to be at least 30 seconds. And everybody was coming up with characters, and me, not even knowing what a furry was, I never, ever, ever liked human characters. Humans are stupid. So, I wanted to make, like, an anthropomorphic wolf. Because apparently I was a furry before I even knew what that was. And so I did. And maybe I'll show you guys my short film one day. It's pretty bad. But, yeah, he started off as just a gray wolf. And then later on, I learned about furries. Not much longer than that. That was like junior year, senior year of college. So like 2016, 2017. And somewhere within there, I learned about furries existing and what they like. And then I learned about the costumes. And I was like, whoa. And I mean, the rest of the fandom was cool, whatever. But I was interested in the costumes immediately. Like, that was immediately what I was hooked on. So, straight from there, I knew I wanted to make a costume. Like, and I knew I could do it. I knew if I tried hard enough, I could do it. So, I decided to do that. I wanted to make something more complicated than just a one-colored character. I wanted at least 2 colors, but obviously I went a little wild. I have 5 main colors on him, but yeah, so I designed him and I liked it and I made him into the costume, and that was all. Mostly the costuming happened through senior year. It was like junior year, sophomore year when I was actually designing the character, but yeah, I guess since like 2014, I guess, which is just wild. And I guess I've had the suit since 2017, which is just even more wild. I love dressing up as Figby. It's so fun. But boy, you gotta have that cardio. Yeah, so my friends would tease me. Like, I was never huge on the internet. I was never a social media and or real internet user. I kind of just like to do my own thing, really. Which is funny since I'm a streamer now, but just on my own, I'd never even heard of fandoms. And I've definitely never heard of furries, but my friends would tease me saying, "You're a furry." And I was like, "Thank you. I don't know what that is." Eventually, my friends told me what it was, and they showed me. That's how I learned. It's just when I was in college, and all my friends were just teasing me, like, "You're a furry." So, then, apparently, there's a whole group of people like me who like the animals. I just thought that was funny. Most people get into it, like the furries fandom because they are on the internet and they see the cool furry stuff and they're like, yeah, I want to make a character. It's just, I got in such a weird roundabout way. Like, through animation classes, really. Yeah, I could see this pattern being really hard for someone to cut out if you're kind of newer to it. Definitely choose whichever way to cut it out you'd prefer. If you want to trace it, go ahead. But if you have a darker color like this, good luck. It is harder. I mean, you can use marking pencils or marking chalk, but the marking chalk is not... See, I never use it. It's at the bottom of my little barrel here. The marking chalk is, at least this square stuff, I cannot get it precise enough. So, if you get, like, marking pencils that are like this, that are, like, colored pencils, but for marking things, they're a little bit easier to get that perfect, defined shape that you need, but still, I think For me personally, it's just an extra step that I do not need. Hopefully they weren't mean to you about it. I don't think they intended to be, and I don't think it came off that way to me either. So, whether they intended to or not, I didn't get any of those vibes, so that's good. Because they could have definitely been mean to me about it if they wanted to, but thankfully, I'm pretty sure they were not trying to be mean about it. I think they were just not... I think they were laughing with me, not at me, but, you know, I get a little bit scared sometimes. I'm a much better socializer than I am now. I probably could pick up on it better. I think that they were laughing with me, though. It's hard to say about the past. Because, yeah, my social skill level, my Sims bar for socializing is much higher than it used to be. Alright, so when you have these, like, little tick mark areas, like these little darts, you may find that you not be able to really get a ton of cutting in there. It might just end up, like, you might not be able to get that full triangle shape because it's so small. And you need to keep that seam allowance as best as possible. So some of these that are really small just end up becoming a single slit. And that's okay. You gotta do what you gotta do. And if that's how it's gonna work on the pattern here, then it will end out fine. Do not stress out about, like, tiny little differences like that. Okay, so we got this one side. What is this, by the way? The muzzle? Cool. It's very fuzzy. You'd never know it's supposed to be a muzzle, but... Curve plot. I could not read that! It was so far away. Hi, Skelefro, how you doing? Oh, Della, your introduction was back in 2014 when you saw a video of Ace of Hearts Fox. Oh, I love him! And, called Five Nights at Furries. Not Five Nights at Furries, that's cute. Then you discovered videos of FurryCon dance comps on YouTube. Yeah! Honestly, though, that's a really pretty great way to get into the fandom. Like, I would not say that that was a bad way to get in. That's really cool. I think one of the greatest things that our fandom has going for it is the furry dance competitions. Like, some of those people can move, despite being in a very restrictive costume, and it looks so cool. Like, that's definitely something we can brag about as furries, right? You were made fun of so much when you were young. You were a closeted furry for a long time. Last year started getting back out there. Roughly 20 years in the fandom. Oh, Renn! Well, I'm glad you're able to find some like-minded people who won't make fun of you. That's terrible. We welcome you. I'm glad you can just kind of enjoy it now. I'm sorry people are like that. And Skelefro's doing pretty good. That's good. That's good to hear. Are you streaming today? Should I raid you? Right? I will not either. I don't understand why people hate on furries so hard. Like, just random. It seems random to me. Like, I'm sure there's some specific instances, but no matter what group of people, it doesn't matter. I mean, even religious groups, any kind of group of people will have bad people in that group. So I don't know why people see, like, the one or two bad, well, not one or two, but, you know, those few bad people, and then they take it out on our entire group. Like, why? Don't do that, actually. No stream? Yeah, I don't blame you. I'm always exhausted, too. We are both working too much, I think. Oh, well, thank you, Skelefro, especially since you're not even, like, a furry. It's nice of you to stop by. This is actually going to be a very short stream. I'm not going to last much longer because I am also tired and also choking on fur. And I hate streaming when I'm choking on fur. It's like a curse. It's very uncomfortable. And these tiny little baby scissors are doing a good job, but they do get the fur everywhere. No matter what you do, you're still gonna get fur everywhere. So here's like that little triangle again. It's too small to make that triangle shape, so I'm just gonna cut a slit where this dart is right here. Because that's the best I can do. I mean, I can try to cut a tiny little triangle opening, but it doesn't really matter that much. Because it's so tiny, I don't think it would make much of a difference, really. But yeah, so now these two pieces are done, so I'm going to stack them together, put this with it, put it aside, and then when I come back, I will check every piece, every section, and see if it needs to be shaved. This one does. It's part of the muzzle, so we'll come back to it, but for now, I'll put it aside, and I'll just keep cutting. Just keeps going. Oh, yes! Okay, one of my friends, I can name drop my friend she's in that video. She's one of my friends that I went to college with did some colorist work on that. Her name is Cersei. She's in the credits for that video. Because she knows Vivzy Pop, and they were I don't know, I haven't heard from them in a while, but they're friends, and that was really cool that my friend did some colorist work on that. So yeah, you can see her name in the credits of that video. the people you meet in animation school, let me tell you. But yeah, that one is a huge. Also, later on I discovered the Caravan Palace video. That's a good furry video too. Not rated G, but kind of like GTA furries, I guess. But it's a good video. Like, it's really well done. Oh no, Skellafro! You kind of need to see that. You're in a lot of communities. The bad tends to be vocal. It draws unnecessary hate towards the collective. That's true. Why do they? Why can't the bad just kind of be silent and hide out? You kind of need to see that video, though, Skellafro. I'm just saying, it's a really good video. You need a beekeeper's hat with the netting to keep the fur out of your mouth, right? I'm choking right now. Yeah, a beekeeper. Right? It is really cool that I know this girl who knows this girl, but it is cool. I feel like I have a slight connection somehow. But yeah, the Lone Digger video is so good. It's really good. We should just, if there wasn't copyright claim all over Twitch, we could just totally just watch it together now. I would. Wow. Now what? I'm wondering if I should just stop the stream now. Because I'm tired and there's fur in my mouth, and I've already done everything I wanted to do today. I mean, I've got a whole pile I need to work on here, so I'm gonna be busy after the stream, but right now is, you know? Yes. Absolutely not rated PG or even PG-13. Right? I can't believe you haven't seen the music video, though, the Die Young music video. And I can't believe it wasn't taken down, frankly. Because I think it has more views than her official song, her official video. I have not read any of Hell of a Boss or Has Been Hotel at all. I think one of them's a comic and one of them's like a video series. It's not my humor. It's not interesting to me at all. I do love the art. I appreciate the art, but you know, it's not my thing, so I haven't really gotten into it. But the art is excellent. Oh, there's fur everywhere. Now this piece is all disconnected because I started cutting it off and I realized I was cutting the wrong piece. We have 2 left ears. Okay, well, this was a short stream, but you know what? I'm fine with that. I'll see you guys tomorrow when we're gonna either play game, or hopefully I'll be done with this and we can start stitching some stuff together. And oh shoot, I was gonna talk about eyebrows or the eyelids. I'll talk about that tomorrow too. I'm feeling hungry. Next time on CloverCat tries to remember to eat. Well, thank you. Sorry it was kind of a short stream. I usually, like, 2 hours is pretty good, but I don't know, man. I just really, I don't like getting fur in my mouth and talking. It's not fun. So I've talked about what I need to talk about. Now I'm just talking about nothing. So I'm gonna go. Alright, we'll see you later. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. Short stream. We'll have lots more tomorrow. Hopefully.